Can we talk about Star Wars now, finally? I mean, come on.
I guess.
This is the do or do not.
We didn't talk about it last time because
I know, and now
the
I
other
get you
star
all fired up about fitness, and you go off.
thing. Yeah, I know. I like talking about fitness. I can talk about fitness all day long.
Oh, we know, audience. We know. All right, so let's talk about old versus new fans.
So I think I've gotten, as we started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Now I have dove in the last year back into Star Wars Legends because I read a bunch of the books up to, it was like probably 30 something years past Return of the Jedi. But then I kind of stopped because Disney bought Lucasfilms.
And they got rid of it, made it all non-canon.
And they all basically said Legacies is fine, but it's not ever going to be canon. And I just kind of like it. Just
Kathleen!
in my, it's her. And then, just in general, they put her in charge and it was a huge mistake. Maybe I should be mad at George Lucas for selling. Maybe he should have just brought some people like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in and had them take off with it. And he oversaw everything and do that. But instead he sold it to Disney. Kathleen Kennedy fucked everything up.
It's tough to turn down $4.5 billion.
It is, but now he's working with Dave Filoni. Now he's there working with Lucas.
Yeah, he's working with it and has $4.5 billion. I mean, come on.
It's not bad, but it's like, hey, Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership of Lucasfilms over the last 10 years has effed it up. But with that being said,
back to the old and new.
I kind of disconnected from Legacies. Yeah. Like I didn't read any more books.
You're finding your footing again.
So I'm on the final. So the Fate of the Jedi. There's other series I haven't read about the development of the Jedi Academy and those. I got would get one book into them, but the final book series, as I understand it, and somebody could tell, there may have been an X-Wing series or something. I don't know, that is not canon. It's more Legacies, but in the Skywalker saga, this is where it ended before Disney took over. And I think it's the 8th book I'm on. I'm on the final book because it said when I bought this one, it was the final book in the chapter. I listen to them on Audible when I'm working out or doing work around the house and stuff. So finally, I'm to the end. This book series, they could make 6 movies out of it.
Hopefully they will.
They won't, but because it's all legacy, and they would have to change what they did with Rey and Kylo and the whole freaking sequel trilogy, which I heard they are changing a lot of stuff about it. They're going to, retcon a lot. But, in general, this book series is excellent. The problem is there's young people that got into Star Wars in the last 10 years. They don't know the greatness that was there before.
No.
They never read these books. They don't know what could have been. So they sit there and defend idiots like Kathleen Kennedy, who screwed the whole thing up, who wanted to make it her own vision.
Let's fight them.
Who didn't want to follow in the footsteps of George Lucas and respect what he did and created. And she said all the right things, but really we all know, because she's starting her own production company to make sci-fi stuff because she thinks she's good at it. It will fail.
Yes, it will.
I guarantee that. Take that to the bank. So she wanted to screw up what George was doing. As you see, over the next year or two, you're going to see Star Wars go right back up. It's like
starting with Ahsoka,
hit the repulsor list and engage.
That's right.
Like, it's going to start going back up. Ahsoka will hopefully be the first one in that. But a lot of these young Star Wars fans had never read a legacy book.
Yeah,
they don't know anything that's going on, and they think that the sequel trilogy was great because you read their comments when like some of these people I follow. Will say stuff about Kathleen Kennedy and the direction and how great this was. And they're like, why are you such haters? These sequels are great. Kathleen Kennedy's done a great job.
No,
you guys don't know anything. It's like, no, you don't know anything. You're only limited to what they've regurgitated from the original 3 movies and turned into a sequel trilogy.
Yep.
Ever since Lucasfilm was bought by Disney, it's a bunch of Hollywood regurgitation. It wasn't creative. It wasn't good. Do I think
they should have called it New Hope 2 instead of?
And so here's the thing:
Episode 7.
I don't discredit these young people because they've never went through Legacies and saw what could have been.
Yep.
So they see something like the sequel. If I never knew anything about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or maybe I watched the Clone Wars as a cartoon and then I'm like, oh, Star Wars sequel trilogy. All right, I'm going to watch it. But they don't really know the real history if they've never read a book. Like you don't know anything about Legacies.
I know Timothy Zahn, and that's about it.
Yeah, and so I mean, which is hugely important. But have you read all of Timothy Zahn's books?
No.
You're
but see, what I do know is a love of what the original trilogy was, and what they did to Luke Skywalker is criminal.
But here's the deal. You know, like
criminal,
a fraction of, if you haven't read hundreds of hours of books.
This is why I have you explaining it to me as I work.
I don't even know. Like, I would say 100 hours is book series. Just this series.
I'm sure. I'm starting my journey.
This book is 16 hours of listening.
Yeah.
And so, like, this is the 8th book, I think, in the it's either the 8th or 9th, but I think it's the 8th book. I didn't really keep that close to track. I'd have to go back and count, like, on my list.
So you should be watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but instead you're too busy reading book 8 of Star Wars.
I started the final book today.
Okay.
So I'm already 2 hours into it because I started it when I worked out, did some recoup room.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to it the whole time. So I'm already into it.
Do you think that they will
Let me paint a picture right now.
Okay.
For the young Star Wars fans.
All right. I'll pretend I'm young and a Star Wars fan.
This is how this book starts off in these 2 hours. This is the final book of the series. You won't know any of the characters except for Luke Skywalker.
It's the best one.
Because you don't know anything about any of the former. Do you know that they're Mara Jade, who is Luke Skywalker's wife, and Kyle Katarn are going to be brought up in the next Mandalorian series, probably.
Luke had a wife?
Oh, yeah. Mara Jade. Karen Gillian's
dropping.
She was a redhead.
Bombshells. Well,
and she was an assassin for Palpatine.
Oh my gosh!
But anyway, she's dead. She's dead by this time in the book.
Spoilers.
But because they're never going to read them because they're just going to go.
Who knew Luke was married?
The sequel trilogy was so good. They're like, you don't know crap. But let me paint a picture of just the start of this book.
All right.
All this stuff's happened. But let's get down to where we're at.
All right.
We're in Coruscant.
In Coruscant, I know that planet.
The Sith, the lost tribe of the Sith, there was a planet that had Sith that was way in the outer rim.
That sounds so cool.
They, along with Abeloth, who is basically the dark side of the Force incarnate. There's like the three powerful, like almost like godlike creatures.
You see, why can't we get this movie?
So Abeloth, who can consume humans and take their form. She is now taken the form and manipulated everything. So she's like basically the chancellor of the new Galactic Empire.
Oh my gosh.
Galactic Alliance. I'm sorry, not Empire.
This is why I just want to, don't mean to interrupt.
I can't explain if you keep interrupting.
We got to circle back to the personality part of the gym talk, the fitness talk personality. This is why I stay, because people, there's nothing better when you're gasping for air doing butt ups and planks. And he's telling you about these Jedi stories that completely get me fired up.
And all I'm doing is regurgitating these great books in a bad way. I'm not even doing them justice.
Okay. Well,
you know, like,
I'm going to read them all.
You watch the videos of the nerds. Like, and I know that I may sound like a nerd, but there's guys out there that go, back on page 92 of The Fate of the Jedi episode this. Anyway.
Stop interrupting.
I'm just going an overall view. This is what Abeloth has gotten. She has the Sith as different senators. They've infiltrated Coruscant.
Yeah.
Now, Luke and them knew this was going to happen because he's the Grand Master. Grand Master Luke Skywalker. Not Jedi Knight, not Jedi Master. He's the Grand Master of the Jedi Order.
The badass Jedi he should have been on the sequel series.
And they will make him grand. He's Grand Master, like, coming up. But anyway.
F you, Kathleen. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is going to be gone. And then this good stuff might happen in the future. But anyway, with that being said, he put a plan in place because they were having a hard time finding the Sith. They were hiding. Yeah. You know, it's a big galaxy.
Yep.
So he put a plan in place to get them to come to Coruscant. He announced the Jedi were leaving Coruscant.
Yeah.
And he knew that would create a power vacuum there, and they would try to come and replace it and take over. So anyway, there's this thing. And so now, just now at the start of this episode, this book is when the Jedi return to Coruscant, and now they're doing a sneak attack on, basically this organized attack on the Sith and taking out all the leadership.
And so you're saying
them all down.
You're saying so the people who only see the movies think, oh yeah, like
the young people who never have read the this book happened in 2012.
Yeah.
This is the last book series really that was
Like
put out by Lucasfilm before
I see
Disney
what you're
really
saying.
took
So
over.
you're saying like they don't see like this greater picture of like what Kathleen and the group could have used. Like they had all of this
They had
canon
it right in front of
Yeah.
them. You know,
and they chose to remake A New Hope and call it Episode 7.
so let's look at human nature. There's the dark
Yeah.
side and the light side, right? And
Right.
some of us have we all have a little bit of both. And
Some more dark side than the others as I
some
nod
more-
my head
some
towards
more dark
Casey.
side than the others, but in general, you know,
Yeah.
like it's not necessarily true. Like I think you have. I'm more of a gray Jedi type in my mindset because you got to embrace some of the dark and some of the light. You got to do the right thing. But sometimes
I'm a gray Gandalf wizard.
Sometimes you got to fuck people up, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, sometimes you have to just break their neck and because they're useless and they're bad for people.
All right.
But with that being said, besides
Yeah.
force snapping people's necks,
Yeah, which would be a fun thing to do.
think about why would Kathleen Kennedy not use all this great background? What is a human nature for somebody to not use this stuff? Say, I think George is great. I love the vision and everything he's created, but let me go exactly opposite of everything he's ever put out there. And that he authorized these books to be written by authors that he respected.
Yeah.
What would cause you to go the opposite direction, Brad?
Her freaking ego. Kathleen, let your incompetence.
Well, she's already let it run rampant. And her narcissism and egotism and not wanting to follow a blueprint that could have been gold, which would have put her in the canon. I would be sitting here preaching how great she is.
Yes!
She made up all her own shit. She had writers, not
All
her, but she had other writers come in,
So
write this stuff. They regurgitated the original trilogy series onto film. And if I never knew anything about Star Wars, like some of these young fans,
Yeah,
I would
not
think it was good. Because you know what? I watched it, I went, if I didn't know what could have been,
So
I would have thought this was okay if I never watched A New Hope and knew that they just basically took somebody else on a desert planet and they're a Jedi.
Yeah.
And developed this whole story around them, and they had friends that rescued them, help them,
and
do all
they blew up a Death Star planet.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
So you're telling me
literally a blueprint of the first three, of 4, 5, and 6. You know,
Can
New
you-
Hope, Empire, and Jedi. They basically regurgitated it with different sexes, different races.
Yeah.
Fine, but do all that on the right script.
So you're telling me I could have had a grand badass Luke and having a planet of Sith infiltrating.
Do you know Luke
course
turned to
not.
the dark side for a while?
No,
The
let me just finish
ghost
this.
of the Emperor.
Just we could have had like an aging Luke Skywalker who was just 100% badass, the strongest Jedi around, you know, with the green
Most people believe the
lightsaber.
strongest Jedi ever.
Yes,
He was the chosen one.
hunting Sith on the planet.
Anakin was not the chosen one.
Yes, and we could have
He
had
did
that.
bring balance to the Force.
We could have
but he
had
was
a
not
married,
the power.
badass Luke Skywalker in all his glory, hunting Sith on Coruscant,
The
and
lost
then
tribe of the Sith.
and then instead we
And his
had
only son-
Rey.
His only son, Ben Skywalker, is in love with a Sith who's not been helping them for a while and has now turned to say she want to be
See?
a Jedi.
We
But
could have
does
had
she really
that.
ultimately want to be a Jedi? No.
We could have had that, and instead, now let's see if this sounds familiar. We start on Tatooine, like planet, with a girl who was kind of raised with nothing, kind of poor.
Yeah.
Found a droid, fixed the droid. The droid set her on this way, and then she gets with this ragtag group to save the Empire, or not the Empire, the Rebellion. So they regurgitated, they revomited the New Hope when we could have had
Heir to the Empire, Timothy's on.
yeah, we could have had all of this badass stuff. Oh, see now I'm
And
starting
this is
to
why I
get
try not to
your
get angry
anger
This
with
is why I try not to get
Kathleen.
angry with
All right.
with the young. I want them to watch Star Wars
Because
but
they don't know.
but
They
you
don't
have to understand
know.
what's coming in the next few years is real Star Wars. This shit that's been going on with Kathleen Kennedy fucking everything up is not.
Oh.
When you watch The Acolyte in the Skeleton Crew, understand it could have been so much more.
Yeah.
Look at her. They actually, one of the reasons she get fired is not for, number one, is those movies failed.
Yeah.
They didn't fail financially, meaning they made money, but they didn't make Star Wars money.
Yeah. They did not.
People did not go back and watch them twice.
Han Solo did not do well.
No, they were all Rogue One.
Yep.
Kathleen Kennedy, Rogue One. That's it.
That's it.
I loved Rogue One. And you know what? I like a lot of what's going on now. I like Andor.
Yeah.
Andor's great. The Mandalorian. But still, these are being held back by someone who is a hack, who has control there. Not anymore. From now on, the only thing she has control over is the Acolyte and the Skeleton Crew. But the Mandalorian, even this last season, had her fingers all over it because she kept saying, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We're going to do this.
We need more Jack Black.
Oh, yeah, we need more
and Lizzo.
But now I don't even know if that was her fault because Dave.
I'm just going to blame anyways.
Dave and John said that they gave some people some creative control to direct episodes, and that was
no matter.
And they understood it was a mistake after they'd done it because
going to give Lizzo in that to Kathleen. Why not? She's not here to defend herself.
She isn't. But the bottom line is if you're a young Star Wars fan, I implore you first read Heir to the Empire.
Yes.
Just read that and think about what could have happened instead of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. What they could have chosen.
When you get excited, when you start learning about Grand Admiral Thrawn, if you've watched Rebels, that's the only thing that has a lot of it in them if you haven't read the books. There is literally five Thrawn books or 6 Thrawn books out there. There's the Chiss Ascendancy 1, 2, and 3. Then there's the one with him and Darth Vader. And then there's one where it's called Treason that I read. I've read every Thrawn book. And I'm going to go back and read Heir to the Empire again because it's been a long time since I read it. Yeah. But that's when he was introduced. Once you learn who Thrawn is and what he is, and I think they're going to do a great job of portraying him. Once you learn that, you're going to be pissed like everybody else is.
Like us.
This guy could have been in this for the last 7 or 8 years.
He could have been like the
main focus
of the next trilogy. Yeah.
And when you find out about him, you're just going to be like going, why didn't they do this before?
When you see this rich tapestry of Star Wars lore.
How long have we been going?
I know you've been going a long time. You're passionate. There's nothing wrong with that, but I agree. Like if once the people who are so fired up about these crappy sequels, and you say, look what they could have done. Like here's like what Luke was, and here was what like his wife and the villains that they could have pulled, like some of the Sith they could have used.
We're only just touching on the very base
Instead,
level.
we had
diving in like you could watch some of the nerds on YouTube that do the channels that are like breaking everything down in minor details. There's histories, like hour or 2 hour histories of like Star. You can go down the rabbit hole, but the bottom line is I can't get angry at you because you're ignorant. So you just don't know what could have been. Yeah. So when you get on and you defend the sequel trilogies and say how great it is, anyone with any knowledge of what could have been laughs at you and goes, "Oh, they just don't know."
I know we have to wrap up soon.
We're wrapping it up right now. But young Star Wars fans, hold on. But young Star Wars fans,
it's hurting me.
Educate yourself. You're ignorant right now. Educate yourself. When I see comments defending Kathleen Kennedy and saying how she's done great and the sequel trilogies are great and you loved Han Solo, it could have been so much more. You just don't know. You don't know. And educate yourself on what could have been. Start reading some books. Start listening to some books. Whatever works for you. But gain some knowledge and understand that you don't know crap and what could have been. And Kathleen Kennedy sabotaged what could have been a great legacy. They could have had movies making $1 billion. They could have been blowing Avatar out of the water. Instead, we got the garbage that we got, the regurgitated garbage.
All right, it's my
Look
time.
at me. Look at me.
Look at the guns. All right.
This is what could have been. That's what is.
All right, that was hurtful. First of all,
I couldn't help it.
I'm taking the mic now.
It was right there.
I know. So Casey's nice and say that this crowd is sticking up for the sequels is just ignorant. I think you're stupid because even if I did not know a lot of what Casey does, and I will tell you, the sequels are crap, and I'm going to tell you why. All right. I know we got to go, but I'm passionate about this. And I find it funny on the sequel, even though it was New Hope, JJ set up all of this cool stuff. We have this mysterious Snoke character, and we were all spending countless hours debating, well, is he the corpse of Anakin? He had the same scar that Anakin had when he was thrown down the shaft. Who is this guy? Who is the silver stormtrooper? Who is that? Why is Ben Solo wearing a helmet? Where did all those plots lead to? Nowhere, because in the next movie, Johnson said, we're going to smash our helmet because you don't want to be Darth Vader. You know that Snoke guy you were spending hours debating who he was and what his grand plan was? We're going to kill him off with no explanation. You don't need to know him. He's nothing, even though you spent the first movie wondering who he was just to be killed off in a very stupid way. I mean, think about it. If you're having two Jedis fighting each other, why don't the other Jedi turn off the other Jedi's lightsaber and then chop him in half? Why isn't that a thing?
Well, because of force protection. They have shielded protection. If you were just like if you force shove a Jedi, they're not going to move very far.
So how come this Master Sith Snoke was easily cut in half by a lightsaber in his hand because he just turned it on? Sith. Come on, lame. So how did they follow that up? All right, so now we have Kylo Ren. No longer want to be compared to Darth Vader. He smashed his helmet into 1,000 parts. What did JJ do again? He put his helmet together again and wore it for the third film. What are we doing here? Are we Darth Vader or are we not?
Why do you think all that stuff happened? Do you think it was J.J. Abrams?
No.
He's made some pretty damn good movies.
I know it's Kathleen, but this is why the sequels suck. All right, let's talk about Rose. Okay, at the end of the second movie, Finn and Rose have this kiss. You see this budding romance. The second movie is more about Rose's journey from having her sister dying and bombing the big flagship in the beginning of the movie, and Rose's journey of finding her place in the rebellion. What does JJ do in the third movie? Rose where? No, now Finn's macking on another girl. What's going on? There is no consistency. They're like, all right, JJ is like, here, we're going to take this. We're going to do this. I've read interviews where JJ had this plot where in the second movie, they were starting to uncover why all of these materials and men and things were disappearing. And then you would be surprised that they had like this death lineup of starships in the third one. Like it was like this logical conclusion of like, wait, why are all of these people going? Like, why are these planets manufacturing all of this stuff? What's going on there? Is there like a first order secret massive armada being formed? No one mentions it until the third movie. And like, hey, how come no one ever noticed 5,000 big ships with planet destroying guns on them? All just out of nowhere. Where did those come from? How did they make all those? Where did those guns come from? How did no one know? Oh, also, I'm just getting started.
Well, we got to go soon. So.
I know, but hey, you know what? You got talked about fitness. Finn, is he force sensitive or what? Second movie, he's like, I feel this, I feel that. You're thinking, okay, he's gonna be a little bit, but you know what? His whole force energy.
It's all you gotta do. Here's Kathleen Kennedy's fingers
pulling
the strings behind the scene. Why do you think J.J. Abrams had all these great plans and they all got scrapped?
Yeah, because Kathleen Kennedy
fucked it all up.
These sequels are good. No, they weren't.
Nope.
No, they weren't. They might have had good parts in each movie separately, but as a 3-movie plot, as a 3-movie story, it had no direction. Everything contradicted everything.
It's why there wasn't lines of people to see them.
I saw it once because I felt like I've invested 50 years of my life in this franchise, and I only saw it once. And that's a shame, because if it would have been good, I would have seen it 35 times like I did the original Star Wars, which I still watch. But to say that the sequel movies are good is stupid. So he's calling you ignorant I'm saying you're just dumb because there's nothing good. Nothing good. There's
There
no
was-
beginning, middle,
There
or
was
end.
good characters. There was good characters, good actors. It's
No
just
development.
The story was crap.
Yeah, there
Maybe
was no
if
art.
JJ was allowed to actually make the movies he wanted to make, maybe they would have been better, but they wouldn't have been as good as what Heir to the Empire.
No.
Let's say you get JJ, you go, all right, there's Heir to the Empire, make it into a screenplay.
Yes, I think you're right. I think if they would have let one director have all three movies, at least you would have had some type of a cohesion to go one to the other.
That's true.
But like in the first 10 minutes of the last,
You forget
movie.
though, one director did have all three of the movies, and her name was Kathleen Kennedy
Yes.
because she didn't let the directors do what they wanted to do.
it's just like, JJ got the movie back for the last one. He's like, now I got to retcon everything that Johnson did because he did everything. He undid everything I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so the lady, what's the lady's name with the silver stormtrooper outfit that I was so excited?
Phasma or
Captain Plasma.
I don't know. I didn't watch these movies a second time.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I watched when they came out on video. I watched them again.
Like JJ had big
but I
plans for
don't know
her.
those as good as like other movies because
Yeah.
nobody wants to watch them twice because they're not good.
They blew it. They could have had Finn at the third one, right? When Finn left.
All right, we're gonna split this.
The
We're
order.
gonna have
No,
is gonna
no.
be 2 episodes.
No, we could do.
No.
I'm done
We're
in
gonna
2
have an
minutes and
episode
we're
on
out.
fitness, and we'll have an episode on Star Wars.
No.
So just keep going.
No,
No, that's easy. Just
No.
split in 2.
I got to go in a minute anyways. I got my mom here.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just want to say there's no excuse for anybody like in the sequels. No excuse. It just hurts more knowing what they had
Oh,
and didn't do.
that's why I tell all the young people who think that the sequel trilogies were great. Number one, investigate what happened. Listen to what J.J. Abrams, listen to what everybody who works in Star Wars says about Kathleen Kennedy. It's backhanded. If there's a compliment, it's backhanded, or it's very non-emotional,
Yeah.
or it's very like code worded. Nobody likes her. Nobody. That's why hopefully she's out now for good. It's either going to be in a few months or when her contract expires next year. She'll finally be out. Things will start getting back to normal, and you're going to start seeing some good stuff out there because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they want to incorporate legends. That's why they're already bringing legend character Kyle Katarn, Master Kyle Katarn in the books that I'm reading.
Yeah.
Mara Jade. Those are characters that are coming back into the series, and they're going to start developing them. And then Thrawn. Thrawn is going to be the game changer.
Yeah.
Because he's not an evil bastard. I hope they don't make him like this. He's cerebral. If you watch Rebels, that is what Thrawn is. He's very calculating, very cerebral. He picks up on cues. He doesn't have the Force. He doesn't need the Force. He's a genius. The man is, and he's
Much like myself.
He's very he doesn't do stuff out of malice, like like I'm angry, or he gets pissed sometimes, but he most of the time just gets even. He's looking. He's planned out 3 different scenarios. So if something happens, he already has a plan to deal with that and to deal with this. He's so far ahead playing chess to everybody else.
But they have Timothy Zahn in the writer's room, so
Yes.
there's hope. And Timothy Zahn, for the people who don't know, is like the guy who.
Where should Timothy Zahn been when they made that fucking sequel trilogy? He should have been writing the screenplay.
He should have
with
been
J.J. Abrams, and then Star Wars right now would be skyrocketing. They wouldn't talk about Avatar. You go Avatar what?
Avatar blows.
You'd be like, I
actually liked Avatar, but still,
I like the Avengers, but Star Wars. That's where it'd be right now instead of Avengers and Avatar, all these making all this money.
Yeah,
it would be Star Wars.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 top 10 spots of all time. If they would have done the right thing, and you know what? I'm no Hollywood genius. I wouldn't want to be in Hollywood if you paid me money. Well, you could
would be.
You could probably Star Wars if they paid me money to come like be an advisor and like
Kathleen. I will take it all back if you.
No. I wouldn't work for Kathleen Kennedy. I would literally I'd
put you straight.
I would be Dave Filoni's assistant. I'd be like, all right, you're the man, dude. Tell me what you need me to do.
I would clean his shoes. Like, would you like another cup of coffee, sir?
Mr. Favreau, would you like me to get you another calf?
Yeah,
because they call it calf in Star Wars.
Can I carry you to the set, sir?
Yeah, I'm just like,
yeah,
I'll be Dave Filoni's personal trainer. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni.
I think this was a great episode. I'm sorry that I got so passionate. Normally, Casey's the passionate one,
good.
But
here's the thing: is we just filmed 2 episodes.
All right, well, I'll split it in 2, but I'll probably release them.
At the end of the Star Wars episode, you're gonna go, "Oh, that was 2 episodes." But the bottom line is we love Star Wars, and the bottom line is I'm reading these comments by these people who don't know. They're ignorant. You're just ignorant. You may be stupid. You can say stupid, but you're just,
They're stupid.
I do like your argument about how
stupid,
incoherent those 3 movies were. How they were
nothing good.
They just were not well done.
Defy you.
Yeah, but you're ignorant because you don't know what could have been.
That's right.
So please gain some intelligence and go
and
watch these things.
And some ab muscles, because we are part fitness.
Yeah, listen to the books. Start with Heir to the Empire. Please
listen while you work out.
I'm gonna listen to it again because I've actually read it twice, but I'm gonna listen to it in Audible. Coming up, and when I get done, I will give a breakdown in detail because I can't remember all the details.
Yeah,
but I know it pretty well, but I can't remember everything.
Yeah.
So when I get done listening to it again, then I will give a nice breakdown. But do it yourself, and then you can compare notes. And this guy's going to read it also.
Yes, I am. I'm starting Rebel soon.
He's as ignorant as you are.
I am. But at least I hate the sequels.
But you listen to me. So you understand. I've explained a lot.
You have.
In our training sessions and stuff, I've explained a lot of what happened, what could happen.
All right. Well, let's end it now. I will split this in half, and then we can release one on Tuesday.
We'll have Star Wars episode next week, and we'll have the fitness episode the following week.
Oh, I can release them both. We can Tuesday, Thursday.
2 for the price of 1?
Yeah, I can release one Tuesday, then one Thursday. We can do doubles if you want.
Right.
Tuesday, Thursdays.
Yeah, just don't
live on the air.
Don't get used to it because we just got a little passion. We haven't talked about Star Wars for
I know.
Since May the 4th we hit you. We haven't talked about Star Wars, so
we had to
get our stuff out there.
Feels good to be back.
It built up,
All right, man. I got my mom waiting for me. I keep her in the car with the windows rolled up with no air on, so I hope she's okay.
I hope she's okay.
You got clients come in. We got group tonight.
All right,
that was a good episode.
All right,
we're gonna cut it here.
See you, everyone.
Woo!